Hey gang, just got back from a nice easy zone 2 run with some 10-second pickups and the start of my next phase for 2020 training. And it's New York City Marathon Day. And I'm riding high. I had a few athletes race, but one athlete who I personally coach, who I've been coaching on and off for the last 20 years, and we took a little break for some childbirth years, but I'm so excited today. We actually had a little hiccup about 10 days 2 weeks ago where she had some hamstring issues. She struggles with scoliosis of the back, and we actually had to quit running for a little bit and kind of let it calm down. And you know, we've kind of, like I said, we've been together. She's my longest athlete that I've coached. Actually, one of the first athletes I started coaching back in Denver. And we've been through half marathons, Ironmans, Boston Marathon qualifiers, Boston Marathon, and her goal has always been to go to New York and race New York. So 2 weeks ago, she was not a happy person. She was stressing about not being able to do very well and wondering if she could even do the race. And like I said, we calmed it down, and I'm happy to say I haven't had official results yet. I'm still going off the tracker, but she had one of her top races ever. In the past 20 years, she went to New York and did one of her best races ever. And with essentially a day-to-day questioning whether she could even go and do this race the last 2 weeks. And it all comes back to her consistency through the years in our training, but the consistency she just has week to week throughout this whole year, building up to New York. She wouldn't have been able to do what she did today without her devotion, her dedication, her consistency. And the consistency is such a key thing, whether it's fitness, whether it's goal setting like a race like this, or just in general life, I believe. So I've got 3 of my top tips for consistency. And number 3, in no particular order, these are just, you know, you're going to use them in different situations, but number 3 is always try to do your run in the morning. You know, the most consistent part of our day is our sleep. You know, regardless of whether we sleep well or not, we're always in bed for the most part. And that's the most consistent part of our day, is our sleep time. And so therefore, we can always go into that early morning run following the most consistent part of our day, and then we can get that into a routine. We can figure out what the best time to eat is the night before. We can figure out the best time to go to sleep. We can figure out the best time to wake up and maybe get that pre-run meal, pre-run fueling. It's just the easiest part of the day to be regimented, which is the holy grail for athletic competition, training, whatever it is. We want to be as consistent as possible and regimented as possible. So doing your run first thing in the morning is the best time to be able to achieve that. If we wait until later in the day, there's just so much that goes on throughout the day that has a way of getting in our way. And if we get it out of the way first thing in the morning, the chances of us being able to do what we need to do and to get it in is the highest. So number 3, get your run in first thing in the morning. Number 2, this is probably the most obvious one, but to have a goal. Have a big goal. You know, sometimes some of the mistakes we make is our day-to-day goals are too big, and our big goal, our long-term goal, is not big enough. Look to turn that around and have a big goal, like New York City Marathon, qualifying for a certain race, just something that you've always wanted to do, because that's going to drive the everyday. That's going to help you get up in that early morning and get that run in and feel good about yourself before the day even starts. So it's going to give you that purpose, that day-to-day purpose that's going to add to your frequency and your consistency, which is what we're talking about today. So get a big goal. And then number 1 that goes with having a big goal is that the strategy of being consistent is getting out there when you don't want to go for a run. Whether it's, hey, it's too early in the morning, whether, hey, now it's starting to get cold and snow, rain, whatever different weather systems come through your part of the neck of the woods and the world, there's always going to be those times where we don't want to go out. And the number one key to this part of the consistency is allowing yourself to have the awareness that you're making it a choice to go for a run. If you make it a have to and the weather's bad or you got to cram it in, you're not going to do it because it's a have to. We naturally rebel against have tos, especially when things get challenging. So when the day comes where it's a challenge for you to get out the door, stop, tell yourself, hey, I'm making this a choice. I'm going out the door because I want to, not because I have to. Or be okay with not going out that day, and that's a choice as well, and being okay with not doing it. A lot of times, hey, we don't give ourselves that chance to make a decision and make it our choice, and therefore we don't do it, and we feel guilty about not getting it in, and we feel bad about ourselves all day. But if we stop ourselves and make it a choice, hey, I want to go out today, or hey, I just can't make it out today, and that's okay, and I'm going to be okay with it. Make it a choice. It completely changes the dynamic of that situation. And I always have the mantra, most of my daily mantras are, hey, this is what I want. This is what I choose. This is the challenge I want. This is how I want to be. It all revolves around me making it a choice rather than a have to. Okay, so make that distinction. It just changes the whole mindset of you being able to get out the door. So, all right, congrats, Allie. I'm really proud of you, and can't wait to hear more about the race. And thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time.